Happy gardening. In the fall, it is, what is today? October 26th, maybe? So we're here in the midst of the fall garden. The last video that I took was on October 4th. And we talked about the beginnings of what was going on. So here's what we have. My sunflowers didn't make it. One of them didn't make it. This one is it's on its last legs. It did put out a couple of these little buds, but I don't think it's gonna make it or bloom. There's not enough leaf to feed the plant, and that's a bummer. These French marigolds, big lesson from this year is how big that they get and how many. This is only about 3 plants. And this one, I allowed it to just take over because I pulled, there's a tomato in here. Speaking of tomatoes, I took down all the tomatoes and the plant. Hi, babe. My neighbor has a nice little, looks like a habanero pepper over there. But yeah, so I took all of this structure down. Here's the thing, I asked for a bigger plot for next year, so I don't know that I'm necessarily coming back into this space. So everything that was here in terms of poles or structure, I took down. That's the remnants of I just used bamboo poles zip tied to the metal stakes. So I just took everything down because I'm not sure what's going to happen this year. We got I don't want to say a freeze warning, but it was the first time it dipped down into like the 30s. So it was 37, 38 the other night on, I think it was Friday. So I came over here and just harvested all of my basil. Today, I'm going to pull the remaining out of there and put it on my compost pot. But I pulled all the basil finally because I didn't think it would do well after the third. It turns out it did. I mean, it still looks okay. Whatever's left, right? It didn't get that cold. But anyway, I have a refrigerator full of pesto that I made yesterday. Wasn't sure what was going to happen with the peppers, so I just kind of left them here. You can see I still have this stem in particular is still doing really well. Still a whole lot of peppers on there. I might pull some of them off today. When I was over here pulling some stuff down, I noticed that there's still quite a few peppers on there. Broccoli getting bigger. I'm not sure what's going on with this little guy in the back here. This one, a little smaller than the rest of them. It could be the marigolds. So maybe I'll pull some of that out. It might feel a little bit like it's too close or something, but certainly the other 3 are doing really well. And then, like I told you guys in the previous video, I left this blank because I had fertilizer for strawberries, and that's not happening. So this is the kale. Remember that I started those at home. And my collard greens are catching on and doing really well. This area is blank. My calendulas came back. These had died off mostly because the tomatillos were here and blocked out the sun. There was a tomato plant right here, which also, they all just kind of blocked out the sun. I didn't know how big the tomatillos would get. And so the calendula has come back, which I think is interesting. So I just left that there. Obviously, I have some weeding to do. But then over here, this kale plant, I knocked it over or pulled it out doing something. I stuck it back in. So it's trying to catch up. It got behind the other 2. My spinach, it looks like something ate that one right there. But the rest of them are coming back nice and strong. In the last video I talked about, I wasn't sure if the spinach was going to take off because it doesn't really like the hot, direct, bright sun. But you can see that all these plants grow from the inside out. And those leaves at the center of the plant are super dark green, doing very well, and they're coming back. And now here's where I planted some seeds. So as you can see, I kind of marked the areas with these stakes. So this right here is giant winter spinach. So this right here, these grassy looking plants are the spinach. I just threw the seeds down. The rest of it is weeds. Right now, there's no way to do, like, it's too difficult. The master gardener here told me not to worry about it because as soon as it gets really cold, the weeds would die and the spinach would continue to grow. So there's a bunch of spinach in here. This right here are Georgia collards. So again, I just threw some seeds down. Obviously, I missed this whole section. These Georgia collards are coming up. And what I can do as they get bigger and stronger, I can pull them out and divide them and fill in the empty space. I'm going to show you guys something with the Master Gardener's plot pretty soon. And then these purple collards are a little bit behind, but they're growing nicely. Again, there's a few back here. And then this right here is kale. And there's a few coming in. There's a few wandering in here. But obviously, what I didn't do, what I should have done or could have done, I wasn't particularly careful about how the seeds got down there. So there's this irregular growth pattern that I'm not going to worry about because, like I said, I can pull them up and divide them later as the plants get a little bit bigger or stronger. And then these I found, I had no intention on growing. These are collard greens, but they were on clearance for super cheap at the garden center when I went over there. And so I had this empty space and I put those in. So this is the fall. I'm very far behind and I will show you somebody else's garden so you can see how far behind I am. But my goal for today is I bought some fish fertilizer that, if you guys remember, I had some cauliflower over here in the very beginning of the spring, and it put up really beautiful leaves, but it never set any heads, and I'm concerned about that with these broccoli. So I got some fish emulsion, and I'm going to water that in to all of these leafy greens. Every 3 weeks, they said you should feed it. So I bought a watering can and some fish emulsion, and that's why I'm here today. I'm not doing anything else, just getting some food on here. So this is the comparison plot. I just want to show you how this is the master gardener and his plot full of greens. And he's got some peas right here in the front. This is weeds. These, you know, all those little weeds that are coming up in my plot, that's what these are. He does not concern himself with that at all. He just throws the plants in, and it's kind of like the strongest plants are going to make it. One of the things I learned from him for sure is not to worry too much about plant density. So I just want to show you by comparison, these are about 2 feet tall and how far behind mine are. There's a lot of other gardens in here where their greens are not quite this tall, but they're a little smaller. And then here's a bed where he must have just put some brand new seeds. So mine aren't, some of mine are beyond this. The ones I started from seed in the summer before putting them in are a little bit bigger than this. My seeds are a little bit smaller. So this is a whole nother bed of greens that he put in. So just in comparison to what I'm doing. So that's it. I'm going to get to feeding and watering, and take care of yourselves, and happy gardening.